Hello everyone out there, welcome back to Life is a Bowl of Cashews, where life is sweet, salty, and a little nutty. I'm Brian Hull, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Paul! Hello, human.
Now, let's talk about some randomosity! Hello everybody, and welcome back to Life is a Bowl of Cashews.
Do you know what I just realized?
What you just realized?
I never say hello first.
You never do.
Why is that?
I don't know. Do you want to say hello first?
Okay, we're going to pretend. We're going to pretend we're starting all over. Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody, and welcome. See, it's way better when you do it. Like, it doesn't have the same feeling.
Okay.
It just completely drains the energy when I do it first.
Well, you're more than welcome to start the next episode if you want. That's
that
totally
makes me
fine.
sad.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Life is a Bowl of Cashews.
Yours is just so much more energetic. Mine's like, hello, everybody, I guess.
I think you're being too hard on yourself.
I always am hard on myself. And Brian
Sorry.
Hall, what was that?
That was my, I set alarms for myself throughout the day to make sure that, I'm doing what I need to be doing.
Oh,
and
nice.
that was my alarm to say, like, hey, your lunch break is over. It's time to get back to work.
Yay! Well, we're working.
We are working.
We're so cool.
Yes.
Okay, so, Brian.
Yes.
We have been friends for 50,000 years.
That's not true. I think it's closer to about 8 years.
Oh no, almost 9-10 years.
About 8.5. We're not at 10. I moved out. I didn't meet you. No, I didn't meet you till 2014.
Are you taking away my 10-year anniversary with you?
Well, no, because it hasn't gotten here yet. I can't take away what isn't here yet.
I was planning a cruise.
Whoa.
Actually, my wife and I want to go on... Actually, you're invited to this. My wife and I want to go on a 14-day cruise.
I think that's what you said.
Yeah,
it's a long trip.
It's the Mediterranean, and it ends in Jerusalem in Israel.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. Anyway, you're invited, but not for the romantic reasons.
Yes, because you're bringing friends along. And
Wait a minute!
What?
When my wife and I are married for 10 years... That means I've known you for 10 years.
Funny story, I met them literally the week they got back from their honeymoon.
Like,
that was when I met y'all.
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so we'll be celebrating our 10-year wedding anniversary and our 10-year friendship.
That's the only reason I can keep up with how long we've been friends.
Funny. Oh, you tell me that all the time and I always forget. Anyway, that's hilarious. Okay, Brian.
Yes.
Back to serious matters.
Yes, back to serious matters. Because we're so serious on this podcast.
We
weirdly get serious
We
sometimes.
do sometimes. I'm really gassy right now. That's not my serious.
Oh, that was fun.
Hold
Thanks
on.
for sharing.
I hope no one heard that. That's just embarrassing.
But
I'm human.
I couldn't even hear it, and I'm right
human.
here.
Like, people burp, man.
Yeah.
Okay. I burped again. And again. Okay, anyways. Human nature. Okay, so... It's a serious topic. It's actually not that serious.
Oh, okay.
But it's serious-esque. It's
Okay.
actually not. So...
Well, what is it?
So, Brian, when I've been wanting to talk about this with you, sarcasm implied, for a while now.
Okay.
And so I thought, why not bring it up on a public podcast? Why not make it the topic of ours? When we go out as friends, wherever, let's pick Disneyland.
Okay.
It's annoying to go out with you. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
I don't know how to say this lightly, so I'm just going to say it. Brian, it's annoying because people recognize you. 1. 2, I can't get to my fast passes on time. That's another story.
Oh, there's a whole story about that.
That's not even a thing anymore. Now they're Genie, but whatever. So I want to talk about the fact that Brian gets recognized a lot. Now, mind you, I want to preface this with something. I don't care that he gets recognized. What I care about is this.
And I also want to make preface, I don't care if you come up and say hello to me. That's totally fine.
Yeah, totally. I love it. I think it's funny. I think it's great.
I'm happy to take a picture with you, any of that. There's no problem with that, and I want to make that super clear.
Right. This is more satire and a joke, but it's also like, dude, we're going to get, like, I don't know, Carthay Circle right now, and I want my firecracker duck wings,
Well, they don't have that anymore.
I know, Brian.
And it makes me sad.
Can we have a moment of silence for the firecracker duck wings? Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, that is enough.
That was, I think, too long for firecracker duck wings. So,
but they are delicious.
I'll give you some examples, Brian.
Okay.
Okay, now mind you, again, it's great that people run up to Brian. I love it. Because why? There are his peoples, and there are people that recognize him and follow him, and kind of like a fan base. And I love that community. I think it's great. But what I don't like is when you interrupt my line going...
Well, you never know when that's going to be. Because there are some... It's very interesting because I try to see it from your perspective sometimes. Because the way I see it is just like, oh, these people who enjoy my content, yeah, I want to give you a moment.
Of course,
let you come up,
I
take a
love
picture,
it.
all that. But then there's other times you tell me like, oh yeah, this person was trying to get your attention, and I just pushed you the other way. I was like, what? I didn't even notice.
So we're basically going to talk about how evil I am for a hot minute.
No, you're not evil.
No,
you're not
because
evil.
I do it intentionally. So I'm going to tell you a couple of stories, which makes me. This is why I brought it up today for this topic. So one a time, we were at the great land of Disney. And we were just like hanging out, and Brian does not seem to recollect this story correctly.
No, I know what story you're talking about.
And it's true.
No, it was not what you made it out to be.
No,
it was not what you made it out to be.
It
I'm going to let you say your part, and then I'm going to say my part. All right,
your
go ahead.
part is false, sir.
No, it's not.
Okay,
go ahead.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
I gotta move around. I gotta get limber here for this. Here we go. Ready? There we go.
Oh, wow.
That was good. All right. So back in the day, not really that back in the day, we were at the land of Disney.
It was like 5 years ago.
You're 5 years ago. We were at we were at Disneyland. And as we were, traversing the area, I had to go pee-pee. I had to go to the bathroom. I did. So I'm like, Brian, I have to go to the bathroom. He's like, why are you telling me this? And I'm like, doesn't matter. Excuse me. So I go. It doesn't matter that part didn't happen, Brian. Okay? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because
this is a story that I'm telling.
I get why you got to go to the bathroom.
This
I don't remember ever asking why you got to go to
this-
the bathroom.
This isn't your story.
Okay. Well, I'm
silent,
involved
sir.
in it.
Be silent.
I'll give my half in a second.
Thank you. So I go to the bathroom. After I come out, I start looking for this man who he is called my best friend, my brother.
You say this like I abandoned you.
And I couldn't find him anywhere. And I'm like, where is he? So I take out my phone and I text him. And I'm like, where are you? And he doesn't answer me. And I'm like, what the heck? He has an Apple Watch on. How does he not get these messages? So I'm like, so I text him again. No answer. So then I start heading to the general area where I left the man. And I can't see him anywhere. But I see this crowd of people. And yes, Brian Hall, a crowd of people. And I go, what the heck is that? So I'm thinking to myself, oh, obviously a character is there. So I start heading in that direction because, Brian likes characters, so maybe he's standing around watching. And I go and I notice two things. One, that Mickey Mouse is out, but he doesn't have a line or a crowd. But then I see who has a line in the crowd, and it's Brian, standing in betwixt multiple people. And I'm like, really? So then I start heading to you. But then this lady friend sees me, quote unquote, cutting in line. I am not. and she goes, excuse me, very politely, we're waiting in line. And I said, for who? And she says, Brian. Yes, that happened. And I went, Brian Hall? Yeah. I go, oh, he's here? Now, mind you, I know, right? So she's like, yeah. So I'm like, I'm not waiting in line to see my best friend because I want to go on Space Mountain. Okay? I want to go on Space Mountain. So I cut the line and about 400 people yell at me, but then Brian no, it's cool. And then I realized that's the day I realized that my best friend was famous. Because before then, I was like, okay, Brian, yeah, sure, you're famous. And I'm like...
Well, I never called myself famous,
you never did.
You recall.
Never.
There was a lot of contention about that.
We would always make fun of you and say, oh, you're famous. But never in my mind did I actually think you were. The day I realized that... Because people would randomly come up to you, sporadically... And it wasn't...
Yeah, we'd have one or two here.
Right, but I was like, okay, who cares? NBD. But that day, and every day since?
Not every day.
Oh, the lies. Let me tell you, people listening to this.
Well, no, I still got to say my half, so don't go too far ahead.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
And I'm going to dispute it. Anyway,
I know you are.
Go ahead and say your half of the story that I told that was all correct.
Okay. So let's start off. I did not ask you why you had to go to the bathroom. I remember vividly. We were on Main Street.
Wait.
We were on Main Street.
Wait. I'm sorry to interrupt. Can we just talk about our massive difference in communication styles? Where you truly, I know you don't believe it when I say I'm hyperbolic, but like, it's hilarious how you have to correct the hyperbolic statements I've made.
Well, because people think you're serious.
I know. And I don't see that. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, we were on Main Street and we were right about, I want to say we're right by Carnation Cafe. And you say you got to go to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I just hang out there by like there's that little gazebo outside and I'm just on my phone, just doing my thing. And then a couple people come up and recognize me. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll take a picture. I'll do that. And then this one guy came up and he was very excited to tell me all sorts of stuff that he's been doing. He was very nice. He wanted to show me a whole lot of things, and I think he was there for a good 5 minutes straight, just telling me all this stuff. And then after I am done talking with him, I noticed a small line of about 4 people form behind him.
Oh, the lies!
That's about it. They all came and took a picture, and they went home. Everybody was happy. But yes, I did see you come up, and I heard people get it. So I'm like, oh no, he's with me. It's cool. And you hung out behind me while I finished.
Apparently,
it was only like 3 or 4 people. That was it.
Excuse me as I defend the truth.
It was only like 3 or 4 people.
Excuse me as I defend the truth.
Oh, gosh.
There were so many people at Disneyland security.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
Disneyland security
that
did
happen to you once.
No.
Yes, it did.
No, Disneyland security didn't pull me out there. I had friends I was with who pulled me out of there.
I thought Disneyland did.
No. Oh, that was a different story.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
That didn't have to do with being recognized. That was for a totally different reason.
I remember that story. That has nothing to do with anything. But, okay. There were more than 4 people. I'm sorry. There was
No, there was only about 3 or 4. I mean, okay, 3 or 4 groups. Like one family, I'm considering one group because they only came in and did one picture. That was
minimizes it because there were more than 4 people there.
It was 4 groups.
There were at least 10, 15 people.
No, that's too many,
dude. Okay, fine.
Like some of them were by themselves, so they had like one friend, and then like there was one family.
We'll meet in the middle. We'll say 8.
I still think that's high, but okay, whatever. It was 5 years ago.
I love it.
It's not a huge deal.
So that was the day I realized that my brother over here, my bestie, is ow, I hit the mic, is well known in the community. And I went, huh. And that day going forward, because, I noticed it, I noticed a lot more people recognizing you. The funny thing is, I don't care that people recognize you, like I said. But I'm a protective and jealous person.
But you have gotten better over the years. Most of these stories are from like 5 years ago.
There was one story where we were walking toward...
I think we were walking... soaring over the world?
Soaring over California at the time.
Oh, yeah.
We were going over to soaring over California. And we were going to get a fast pass because I had fast passes still. And I was super excited to go get this fast pass because I'm like, I haven't been on soaring in a long time. So we're going. And this older lady started running towards Brian. I notice it. So I push Brian out of the way and kind of like hide him behind people in order for us to kind of rush over and get our fast pass.
And for the record, I had no idea any of this happened until after it was long over.
And it did not work because the lady found him.
No, it was we had already gotten fast passes. We were in the fast pass line to get to Soren, and you noticed her coming before we boarded. And you were like, no, I don't want to slow down our boarding. I want to make sure we get on this. And then she came and got a picture after we were done with the ride.
She waited at the exit.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember this.
Because then you were like, oh, yeah, I tried to make sure she couldn't get us before the ride. I was like, why'd you do that?
Because I want to go soaring over California, and I don't want to waste my time here. No. So,
But this was a long time ago. You haven't done that in like 4 or 5 years. That I'm aware of. Have you done more? Have you done more I haven't known about?
Do you know how many times I've probably done this to you?
No.
I can't even count.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Because when I want something, I go get it. And if someone's going to interfere with me, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. Yeah, I know. I'm not a good person. But the thing is that I might done it to you multiple times recently, and you had no idea.
Really?
I mean, there have been times where people recognize you, and I notice it first, so I kind of just brush it off, and then I kind of push you along.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. I
mean, okay. Think of it this way.
I'm not upset. I'm shocked.
The only time I do that is when my kids are around, though.
That makes a lot of sense.
I usually do it when my kids are around, or I usually do it if you are in, or I am not in the best of moods. And so, that does
happen.
And so you're human. Of course it happens.
Well, yeah.
And so that's when I kind of push you, will manipulate the situation. So, and the person doesn't know I'm doing it. You don't know I'm doing it. I know I'm doing it because I just want to make sure that everyone is content, and I don't want to ruin anyone's day with my bad mood, or your bad mood, or anyone's bad mood. Mm-hmm. So that's usually why I do it.
Okay.
It's happened at the zoo. It's happened at Disneyland. It's happened at Disney World. It's happened at Universal. It's happened, I think, getting gas one time. It's happened a lot of places.
Yeah. The interesting thing that I'm noticing now is before it was only if I was in a theme park setting, I'd get recognized a lot. But now it's happening a lot more outside of that.
Even in your hometown.
Yeah.
Town. Even in the town you live in, stuff like that. Yeah. So I tend to manipulate the situation for people's... I mean, I do it for good. I don't do it to harm anyone, but I mean,
and I want to let everybody know he doesn't do this to everybody because I still will take pictures.
Oh, I can't stop everyone. Are you kidding me? There was this one girl that literally I tried my best. This was at the mall. I remember there was a local mall, and we were walking somewhere, and I see this girl from a distance, and I'm all like, wait a minute, she's kind of following us everywhere. And then I realized, oh, she must know who Brian is. And I tried my best. I walked you into every big store I knew. We walked around in circles. I went in squares. I tried making every shape on the planet in order to have this girl not to find us. She found us in the end. She found us. She was like a ninja. That woman had a tracking beacon on you. It was quite impressive.
I don't even recollect this. Wow, I'm oblivious and I forget a lot, don't I?
You're not oblivious? Well, no, you are. You're pretty oblivious.
Yeah, I'm pretty funny. Oblivious. I acknowledge that.
It's pretty hilarious how... Okay, so talk about an oblivion story, which is kind of funny. We were hanging out and we were having... I don't know what we were doing. But he had a breakfast food. And this was at his house. And shut up, Brian. And so we were hanging out there and whatever. And I am weirdly controlling of any environment I'm in. I'm working on that. But
I have been seeing improvement, by the way.
Thank you. But he put his plate away and he put everything else away. But he left his syrup out and then he started walking away. And I was like, what are you doing? And now mind you, it's not my syrup or I don't care. But for some reason, I have to say something. And it's just, so I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, going down, blah, 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 going this. And I'm like, oh, well, what about that? What about what? That. And I'm pointing at it. He is not seeing it. And I go, your syrup. Oh, is that still out? I didn't even notice it. Now, mind you, it is a big honking thing of syrup. How you didn't notice it, I don't know.
In my defense, when you said that you left the syrup on the table, because I remember this, you said it was on the table, I looked, there were chairs that were pushed in on the front side, and the chair blocked the syrup, so I couldn't see it.
Well, what about when you were on the other side of the chair, and you clearly saw the syrup, you just forgot about it?
I just forgot about it.
Or the time that...
I acknowledge I forgot about it the first time, but when you brought that up, it's like, do you not see that on the table? I was like, no, because it was covered by the chair.
The time that you were over and you went to the garage and you walk into the house, you're like, where's your wife? And I'm like, gone? I'm like, you were just in the garage. The van isn't there. It isn't? I mean, this van is ginormous.
I can be very oblivious. I acknowledge that. I can be very oblivious.
What do you mean you didn't notice it? He didn't even notice it.
I was down there getting a drink. I wasn't paying attention to the rest of it. You guys got a fridge in there. Let's go in there and grab a drink. And I'm like,
I think it's hilarious.
Just don't even think about it.
I think it's so funny. Anyway.
Oh, I acknowledge. I can be extremely oblivious.
Hilarious. But those are some examples on, just some. There are many more. Some examples on, it's not annoying or bothersome.
Most of the time, it's actually really cool.
It's very fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who come up and tell like really cool stories. Oh, yeah. And like that. Those are so cool. And like a lot of times they really do brighten my day and stuff. So
100%.
They're really overall, I enjoy them. That's why I tell everybody. It's like, yes, please, if you see me, feel free to take a picture. I don't mind.
We were walking around somewhere one time. I'm going to be extremely vague on this because it's not really my story to tell, but I really want to tell kind of like the gist of the story. I think I know the
one you're talking about.
It's a really cool story because these are the kind of things I really like when people approach Brian and like thank him for what he does, or like, just all around be like kind of amazed at what he can do as a talent. I think that's really cool. But that he changes their day around, whatever. But there was this one person who came up and they said that Brian helped change her life because of something they were going to do and did not do because of Brian. And now, mind you, as Christians, we go like, Jesus was working through Brian. I think that was awesome and praise God. But at the same time, that still happened, and that's such an amazing story because, man, when I tell you, I'm a therapist. I've been doing my job for a long time, and I hear when positive influencers have influence over their audience or fans in a positive way, it can really change people's direction in life. So that was a really positive story. I thought it was great when this person said that. And I actually teared up a little. And I was like, that's so amazing.
Oh, after this person left and told us that basically me just being me basically turned her life around, I did cry. We were going to a movie, and I just had to go sit there and cry for a little bit before the movie started. I'm just like, I had to take a minute. That was very overwhelming.
Yeah, seriously.
But it was to this day, I will never forget that, and
I mean, it's
that was so special.
Anyway, so yeah, that's just a positive story. But
there's a lot of other
there are tons of positive stories, and what I really like seeing, what I really truly like seeing, is when people come up to Brian, just tell them their story, tell them how Brian, helped in some way, shape, or form. Tell them how the impact of their life were. And I'm not saying like, look how cool Brian is, but I am saying like good works is really cool. Yeah. And I love seeing good works being done that have positive impact. And so like Brian's good works happens to be through his job and social media, and other people have their impact in their good works. Yeah. But it's just really cool to see it. It just happens that, Brian's good works interferes with my firecracker dumplings, which irritates me. And that should never happen. But whatever. I guess.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever. So yeah, that's my topic I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. I think that's really cool just because a lot of people, I have a lot of people ask like what it's like, being on that side of everything. And there are some weird moments that come with that because there are some moments where it's like, it's amazing. You feel like you're on top of the world. And other times where it's like somebody will come up and say like, oh, you helped me with such and such. And I just sit there going, how? All I did was talk like Mickey Mouse. And I feel like, I didn't do anything. But, it's a weird, it's a weird thing. It's like, I'm happy that I can make people happy, but at the same time, there's moments where, you know, you feel like something that's mundane and simple to you is being elevated to something that is much higher than you ever thought it would be. Because to me, doing impressions and doing this stuff is like breathing. It's just, I do it. It's just part of my life. It's not special. It's not it's completely normal.
Mm-hmm.
Not special. Just day in, day out. No big deal. But then to see someone's face light up because it's not the same to them it's weird, because I wish I could be on the other side of that to see how it's different and special, because I don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Because most of my time doing this, I just keep being, why do people like this so much? I'm just, doing my normal thing. But apparently my normal thing is different and weird and unique, so I keep doing it.
Yep. I think that's really important. And my throat's all weird. A lot of people, I don't really know how to say this, but like a lot of people, I think being influential, if you don't do it right, can be really bad.
Yeah.
But if you do it right, it could be really good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say, like, to anyone listening, is never try not to strive to be famous.
It's not all it's cracked up to be. There are a lot of issues that are surrounding being famous that you're not even thinking of, and things that would change that you can't think of right now, because it's just
like
never happened.
I'll like just a quick honest story is before I met Brian, my throat, my goodness.
You've got some water right there, don't you? Or did you drink
I know it doesn't do anything. So before I met Brian, no one knew my name, and that's fine. But after I met Brian and we started doing podcasts and people will see me in videos and I pop in on live streams, people started recognizing me, which I don't mind.
I remember the first time it happened to you too. You got recognized in a bathroom.
Yeah.
No, not at Pantages.
It was at the Pantages.
No, it was at El Cap.
Oh, it was at the El Capitan.
El Capitan.
It was at the El Capitan.
Mm-hmm.
I got recognized in a bathroom. But I will tell you, they knew me, but they wanted Brian, which I thought was funny. Anyway, they were really nice people. But I started getting recognized, not as much as Brian, which is fine, but it's a weird feeling, and it's not a feeling like it shouldn't. I can't explain it. It's just not it's not a feeling that I like. And so I'm like, oh, okay. And so I try to stay out of the spotlight. I like doing podcasts only because it's fun and no one can see my face. Although, so that's other conversations. But yeah, I don't know. I think like all this is to say, like, just do what you're passionate about. Yeah. If what you're passionate about is like archaeology, then do that. If what you're passionate about is medicine or like janitorial services, and I know that sounds funny, but it's true. There are people who truly have passion for that, and I think that's great. Health services, human services, whatever.
Paleontology, and if you go into paleontology, let me know. I want to hear all the things.
Seriously, computer sciences, data, like there's so much out there. So like, whatever you have a passion towards, do it. Don't just do something because you want to be famous. That's not how that's not why you accomplish anything or do anything. You won't. I will tell you this, that is full of false joy and false hope, because that will fail you in the end.
Yeah.
You know, and so just know, if you're going to do something in life, if it ends that you happen to be famous because of it, oh my gosh, that's fabulous. But at least you're doing it with your passion. You're famous because of your passion. Do things based on your passions. Don't do things based just, I want to be famous. That will ruin you in the end.
And also, let me make this clear. What you're seeing from these famous people, influencers, A-list celebrities, everyone who you see on screen, myself included, all of us, what you're seeing, you perceive to be our lives, but really, that's just what we're showing you.
Right.
We're basically giving you a form of entertainment. You see a talk show, that's not really the person. That's the person that they want to show to the world.
Their persona.
That's their persona. And so you look at that going, like, I see comments every day just like, wow, how are you always so happy? Truth is, I'm not. I'm not always happy.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you can vouch for me. I'm not always happy. In fact, I've fought depression. Yeah. I fight anxiety all the time. I've gone through so much therapy now.
Mm-hmm. But I want to say, like, because you're an influencer and you're saying these things, and these are true things that you're going through as a human being, it's good works, because what you're doing is telling everyone, this is just because I go on social media and I can do the voice of Mickey Mouse or Winnie the Pooh or whoever, Dracula, and I always look happy, and that's entertainment. Yeah. And you want to provide that entertainment to them. That is your job, to provide happiness and joy to people. And I think that's fabulous. But that's not his everyday life. And that's not even grade A celebrity everyday life. And I will tell you this, not just from Brian's perspective, but as a clinician, as a therapist myself, I treat a lot of people, and I've treated people that are very well known. I've treated people in fields that are very well known and very sought after. And, everyone thinks they're just happy and dandy and content because they have zillions of dollars or they have a fan base, or they're not. Because like I said, that all leads to false hope and joy. Because in the end, when all that's said and gone, even if you had $1 million, even if you had all the money in the world, it will fail you in the end. Yeah. Because you're not going for your passion. You're not living for your passion. Now, Brian and I have other faith-based understandings and observations, but we believe that, Jesus is the reason, right? Here we go. That's awesome. Jesus gives us hope and he never fails. But for anyone that doesn't believe that, just go for your passion, bro. That's what you go for.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I tell people all the time, because I have a lot of friends, especially back home in Texas, who reach out, and it's just because they knew me beforehand. Yeah. And now they're like, well, how is that different? How has that changed? And I can't tell you how many people look at me and say, oh, I wish I had his life. And I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because I have all these issues you don't know about. I have all these problems you don't have to deal with. And I wouldn't want your life because you have a bunch of stuff going on that I don't know about. Everyone looks at someone else and sees, oh, the grass must be greener on their side. But it's not.
It's a different shade.
No matter how, oh, if I just had this one thing fixed, all of my problems would be solved. No. Because there's other problems there. Every human being has got problems you're not aware of. There's no one who has this perfect life.
No, nobody.
And it's dangerous to think that that's the thing that you can attain. Mm-hmm. It's no matter what you do, you will have issues, you will have problems. And the fact is not to try to find a life where those don't exist, but learn how to cope with what is there and to make the best life you possibly can, because that's going to be more rewarding in the long run.
Yeah. For reals, though. People, my patients will sometimes be all like, oh, I bet you don't do that with your wife. No, I do. Or I bet you never have that problem. No, I do. And I tell them that. Yeah, I do. I'm a human being. Yeah. I have the same problems you do. I'm just educated and trained on how to help with them.
And even then,
it's like going to a physician, right? They have colds and cancer and AIDS and everything else that every patient might have. Yeah. They're human.
And the same thing, a great example for you is there are many times in our friendship and stuff, you will catch yourself doing stuff that you tell your patients not to do. Yeah, all the time. And you call yourself out on it. It's just I just told one of my patients that today. I need to learn to do that myself. Yeah. We're not, it's this, I don't know how we got on the subject. It went from just sharing what your perspective is being my friend, but now it's gone to this where it's
it's really interesting because I never cared about any of this until I met you. I never cared about how people saw each other. I never cared about it. And then I saw how social media influenced people and how heavy of an influence it was. And then I started caring. And then I noticed how many people want to be social media influencers and how when they can't reach or attain that, they get sad or depressed or anxious or suicidal. I mean,
their lives are dictated by
things.
the amount of views you have, which is terrifying.
That can never.
No.
And just now, people are really starting to talk about that, and companies are actually starting to move on it. But I think it's so important to just. Oh man, I can't tell you enough how important it is to know that these people portraying anything to you are humans.
Yes.
They're all human beings from anybody to anybody. Mm-hmm. They're all human beings. They all have problems.
Chris Pratt to PewDiePie to Samuel L. Jackson.
They're all don't human. Know their hearts. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know anything. It might look like they have a perfect life. I'm telling you right now, as a therapist, they do not have a perfect life. Trust me, I know. Like, I've seen these things in person. So just...
You've seen my life in person.
Yeah, I've seen your life in person. I've seen some things in my life, in my career, that I'm just like, oh, that completely beat down a bias that I had. Like, 100%. So just be aware of that, you know? And if you need help, or if you need, like, if you have depression and anxiety and you think that social media is your answer to your, life, go see somebody, go talk to somebody. It's not.
It made more than me.
Like, it's just, just go see a professional who can help you with coping skills and tools and resources. They're out there, and this got really, like...
I didn't mean for it to get this serious.
This is your fault.
When I brought the idea to you, I was like, I think it might be fun to hear from your perspective, because I hear people ask that all the time, and we got real serious.
Dang, no one's going to listen to this. They're going to stop halfway. If you made it to this part, good for you.
Round of applause for you. Round of applause for you.
Yay you, because, man alive, I'm all tired out already. I'd be crying in the corner.
I know, I swear. I feel like we're on cinema therapy right now. Without the cinema part.
Right? Oh, it'd be good to have cinema therapy. I like that.
That's such a good channel.
So that's my story. I think we should wrap this up, because I don't want to get any more sadder.
I know, right? So but I do want to leave on a positive note. Because we've talked about a lot of heavy things, and I do want to say that there have been a lot of dark spots in my life, and there's been a lot of times that were tough in my life, despite the fame and the channel and all that stuff and getting all this voice work. Despite all that, I'd still do it all again. Like, I don't care about the fame. If that went away tomorrow, cool. I'd still do all this, because, like you said, I'm passionate about what it is that I'm doing. And, if you're in a spot where you're doing what you're passionate about, and it's rough and it's tough, stick with it. Get to the other end, and you'll see that there was a lot worth fighting for. Yeah.
Besides your social support, what was the most valuable thing that got you through all this? What was the most important, valuable to you thing that got you through this? You shouldn't have to think about it, but that's cool.
I mean, I was letting you finish.
Sure you were.
I was letting you finish. My faith was the main thing. But then with that,
do people know your faith?
Yeah, I've mentioned it a lot.
Do they?
Yeah.
How do you identify your faith to them?
Christian.
All right, just curious. I didn't know that people knew.
Yeah, I've talked about it a lot.
You do have a cross that you wear around your neck.
Oh, and a lot of times in live streams, people ask me like what my favorite Bible verse is and stuff.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I have a lot of videos where I talk about it. But yeah, faith was the number one thing, and then on top of that was just getting my pride down so that I would get help where I needed it, where otherwise I would have fought it. That was another big one.
Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Why your faith?
Why my faith?
Mm-hmm.
Because my faith is the reason why I do everything. It's why I do all this. Is because I feel like that's what I'm called to do.
Neat.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. So yeah, no more serious stuff.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening today. We appreciate it. If you unsubscribe, we completely understand because that was super serious.
That was way more serious than we intended to go.
But please do subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. We will see you next time on Life is a Bowl of Cashews. And next time, it'll be a lot lighthearted, a lot more lighthearted.
Yeah, we're going to go pick a topic that's super, super light and breezy.
Yes, please. Breezy. I like that word. Why do these dentist people keep emailing me? Whatever. All right. Bye, guys.
So I guess we're keeping the dentist thing. Bye.